And we have it right here. Infernal Shrines is our first map in the best of 3 series between Laubers Fanclub and pepeMLady. We're still in the winner bracket of the Method Mayhem monthly final. And it could be a pretty big highlight here. As we said earlier, for Laubers Fanclub, it is actually the first game that they're playing today. They had a bye in the first round since one of the teams didn't show up. But at the same time now, for pepeMLady, it is the second tough opponent that they're facing. In the first round, they went up against Washed Up and were able to win that best of 1. Now, of course, after the first round, we're looking at best of 3 matches. So that changes things massively. But still, it seems like today, pepeMLady is a bit on a roll here. And now we're going to find out together if they can continue that against the Fan Club.
That last series, I think, is probably the best display as to how different best of 1s and best of 3s are, because we just got to see the same team in a best of 1 and a best of 3 situation. Feel the Heat wins a best of 1 with a very aggressive composition, tries a different composition in the second series and get absolutely bodied. And that's a really good display of how a best of 1 and best of 3 can differentiate, because they make good comebacks in 2 and 3, but if that had been another best of 1, they'd be in the lower bracket right now. So it is a difference. So pepeMLady now have to do whatever they did in game number 1, but they have to do it on a consistent basis against one of the toughest teams in the monthly final.
Yeah, and I already kind of predict that we are having either Johanna banned out or taken. It seems like more and more teams in the last tournament in particular have tried to target the front line of pepeMLady, and I could very well see that happen again. And there it is, the Johanna ban. Not only because she's a good hero on that map, I think if for against any different team, they wouldn't have banned her out, but simply opted for something else. But teams are aggressively targeting Wilq with their ban patterns right now. So against them, ETC and Johanna are usually either banned or taken away. Those are the 2 tanks that he plays by far the most. Obviously not the only ones that he can play, but it's still the ones that he prefers to take if he gets the chance to do so. And teams have by now just simply said, okay, we're going to ban those 2 out, and everything behind that is just simply not on the same level. Now, he can, of course, prove them wrong here, but that seems to be a bit of a standard strategy against pepeMLady these days in the draft.
There's Garrosh and Zarya, classic cheese, coming in here for Laubers Fanclub, and that removes another of the top 3 frontliners away from pepeMLady. Now, what we've seen from Wilq is, once again, after those first 2 tanks are removed, he likes a little bit of the Garrosh, leans a little bit onto the Anubarak as well, but now he's limited to Imperius, Diablo, he has played a little bit Diablo, the Anubarak, as we already said, Muradin, but his options are now limited. And they're going to start off with Deathwing, leaving the tank pick. They know at this point, anything they pick is going to be suboptimal, so they're just going to let it be a little more reactionary, and instead choose to put pressure onto the other parts of the draft by getting their choice of support and that big Deathwing bully to try and deny Garrosh some value by one less person to flip.
Yeah, I'm already a little bit scared, though, because the Zarya and Garrosh setup is pretty sexy, and if you put Vala in play with that, a lot of other picks that are also viable for that, then you have just so much sustain, and in addition also the damage behind it. And this is going to be pretty tough to beat with what they have. But we'll see. Again, the draft, there's still a couple of options for them. They have 2 heroes to pick. Deathwing at least is kind of nice for them already to have. That's pretty good. But I want to see what especially the damage dealer for Tai is now going to be. Because he can play that Vala, he played it a lot. Cassia would have been an alternative too, but she gets banned out here. But I would be a little bit surprised if we see for Tai not a Vala pick here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It would be solid. It works well with the Zarya. It'd just be a safe pickup here. And there it is. The Prophet predicts it. Vala comes in with a Rhaegar for the setup. Of course, Rhaegar plus Zarya is solid as well. And with Imperius banned out, pepeMLady are now very much down in their tank pool. We still have Tyrael, Anubarak, Muradin, so we still have some solid options. But they have been gutted for a lot of that hard engage potential. If they wanted to play Anubarak into this, it would be very risky as they're against Garrosh and Zarya, so it would be very hard to hard engage it. Muradin is going to have a little bit of trouble if as Laubers Fanclub can still pick more crowd control. So what do? Double the front line. They get even tankier with Blaze and Muradin, and that is super sensible because now they're trying to force out either the Malthael or the Leoric. The Malthael is what is chosen by Laubers Fanclub, but they've removed the option for crowd control to try and punish that Muradin.
And important with the Malthael pick is obviously also that he's also supported through that Zarya, so that's another good setup for them. But again, Infernal Shrines, the stage is set. Fanclub against pepeMLady, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 in the best of 3. our first map in the best of 3 here, the Method Mayhem monthly final, the winner bracket match. On the left, the fan club. Laubers Fanclub going up against pepeMLady here. The team that was able to take down Washed Up in the first round. The dragon is already a little bit restless over here, just like pacing. Boss wants to finally get at it. He's just waiting for the gate to open so that he can finally make his way onto the battlefield and rip them apart. Yeah, one can hope. Let's see if we can follow through with that.
Gonna make their way out. Deathwing yet to pick his level 1. We have a very usual starting talent here. We'll see if that does end up being picked. For now, he's just chilling with it. Vala starting normally, unrivaled strength coming in there. It's not the first time we've seen this from Garrosh, but it's nice to see it again. They really want to try and separate Muradin from the pack here and maybe pick him up to get the will queue as Rutzau is focused down and killed off. And Copen's doing good damage, but he can't afford to stick around. He's forced to back away.
Zarya is burned to a crisp here. There's a lot of flame damage here on the other side. So we got not only Deathwing, with a chicken skin, by the way, and him up against Blaze. Honestly, if you think about it, if we have Blaze just going straight in for the fire setup, that's crispy chicken right there.
Copen tries to dodge the stun of Rutzau, instead teleports himself into it. But yeah, if we can see the crispy chicken, see Deathwing getting blasted away, and with these fire-based talents, give him that flame aura later on, yeah, you are right. Maybe we will get to see a very crispy chicken.
Honestly, it's always a problem. Who's really the chicken? Is it Falset or is it Deathwing? I think if we're talking about Deathwing, he's the American chicken. It's the XXL version of the real chicken. That's pretty much what's going on there. You can sustain an entire family through a week if you just go for the Deathwing chicken. That's pretty much what's going on there.
See a lot of damage being dropped onto Blaze, who's trying to tank, doing a good job. Molten Breath comes out, but not able to get the angle. Blaze is sniped away, and that is the counter kill from Laubers Fanclub, evening it up to 1-1.
Yeah, the kill against Blaze, so good one for them. Yeah, I really want to see how especially Muradin is going to do in the later stages. I really feel when you're banning out the ETC and Johanna against Will Q, then you oftentimes force him into a position where he just doesn't have a tank that is as impactful. With Muradin, of course, you have the stunts and the survivability, but it's a bit of a limited setup when you're playing on the Shrine before you complete your baseline, because you just don't have that Pierce available, and oftentimes that Stormbolt will be soaked up by a minion. Now, he is very sustainable, though, and that really is going to help them to establish the front. That's obviously where Malthael comes into play. But I always feel like it's a little bit of a consolation pick where they're like, yeah, it's not really what we want, but we kind of have to attempt to bridge that. So let's see if the strategy of banning frontline against pepeMLady is going to be successful for them or not. But right now I feel that the fan club have a very powerful shrine setup in particular, so objectives should be very strong for them.
Objective channeling in, Fallen Shamans for both teams. Interesting, we're not seeing the continuation down this Incinerate Lava Burst build for Deathwing. Infernus coming in, he's really trying to go for that zoning Molten Breath. Valor, of course, keeping it normal. Punishment coming in, full multi-shot build, and already they get a much better position for a big head start.
You just have the better setup for this. And the rotation was much crisper, much cleaner. Gives you a 15-point lead towards the objective. Here comes the push in, though, from pepeMLady. Yeah, they have a lot. I mean, still, they can use Deathwing, they can use Blaze. There's a lot of tools available to them to bridge that gap, but it's 27 against 7 points now towards the first Punisher. And that's just a massive lead. And Zarya is standing in the middle of things. It's just saying, ooh, free energy. And starts to get mad damage out with the Feel the Heat as well. So they take the Arcane Punisher, no problems whatsoever, and are now attempting to follow up on it with some damage in the middle of the map, where they already take down, well, the first tower before the Punisher's even there.
Deathwing being a chicken and heading down to bot lane. It's just soaking experience down here. So we see pinpoint accuracy coming in for Zarya. Also, to answer your question, because I was just thinking about it, I think it's safe to say... Oh, hang on, speed barrier. Okay, go right against the way. I think it's safe to say that if both of them are chickens, then Deathwing is a chicken thigh, and Falstad is a chicken breast due to the fat content difference. That is why he is the XL version. And Cesarus will back up. He does slow down the retreat, which lets his team clear out the Punisher.
Yeah, I'll let that slide. I mean, yeah. It's just like, yeah, it's the XXL chicken for me.
Yeah. Which does also make the argument that Cesarus would be significantly more delicious as a Deathwing than a Falstad. As we see them clearing out the lane, Loba looks for the throw, but only finds a minion.
You're committing the American fallacy. Quantity doesn't equal quality.
That's fair.
Just
fair
because
point.
chicken is bigger doesn't mean it tastes better. Could we stop talking about chicken? I'm getting hungry over here.
You started it.
I know, but I didn't continue. I stopped it. It was a very short comment, and now I'm thinking chicken the entire time. And you come in with the chicken thigh, the chicken breast, and I'm just like, I'm hungry. I need a barbecue.
We're seeing Cesabos trying to zone away. He's only just going to be able to do a little bit of harassment. You can really see, unfortunately, that that lava burst doesn't do a lot of damage, and as such, he's forced to retreat, and he's just going to have to clean this up with the help of Gore Rider. In fact, Gore Rider's going to be left to clean that up basically on his own, as Copen is able to bother Ritsu quite a bit there.
Yeah, Copenhagen is still with the poke there. I want the level 10 abilities. I want to see if they can really punish Muradin with Malthael here. That would actually be pretty awesome. I mean, for now, Will Q is already getting more or less bodied by Zarya, so whenever he's at the front, he's in a lot of trouble here. And you can see how quickly Muradin gets burned down. That's really where his sustainability through his level 1 talent comes in play. And we will, of course, see the level 4, level 13 synergy once that he can pick it up. But it's all about the level 10 talents right now. Vala, in particular, has an option to even play it with Strafe again. I mean, whenever a Vala player can, he will go for Strafe for the added damage, and Ty loves to do that, and there it is. Strafe is in, doesn't feel that he needs the added stun. Bloodlust is through as well, and of course the last ride. So yeah, stage is set for our first big battle with heroic abilities.
Yeah, ready for solid damage output. We can see that Malthael here has gone for full AoE with the combination of Throwing Shade and Massacre to just spread Reaper's Mark as much as possible. With that triple, very tanky frontline, he is the percentage damage until Manticore is online, so that is his job here. You could argue maybe Tormented Souls could be the play there to spread it even more, but he doesn't need it, and he really needs that finishing move to try and pick off someone like that Deathwing, like that Muradin, before Muradin or Deathwing can regenerate most of their health here. Wave clear continues from Laubers Fanclub as they are just trying to soak up as much XP as possible as we see Muradin pulled in last rights very early this time, and that will allow Wilkie to escape.
Yeah, that was too early. He also immediately started to hammer and try to get the ult out, but that last right was just a little bit too soon. I mean, I like the idea. It was a really snappy, coordinated play, but he just YOLO'd it out a bit too fast. But that's a cooldown, that's several cooldowns actually burn on both sides now. But with this, we have the action up at the top. Will Q is jumping out again. That's the mobility that is heavily working in his favor here, of course. And it's time to shine. Who's taking the next objective? Vala's on her way. She's one of the crucial pieces to the puzzle, of course, for the fan club, but they are getting mad damage pushed on Henning. He's already about to fall, but it's Anna that dies first. Granny is down. Deathwing flying in once again as they're looking for the counter kill. The Stormbolt connects, but in comes Lauber with a save on Rutsu, able to push him back to safety. And they take the lead on the objective again any second as they are establishing a presence on the shrine.
They were able to pick up that kill without even having Vala in the Bloodlust. She arrived after it was popped here, and they were just able to get the huge burst on Anna. And now, even without the healer, they're going in. Huge taunt comes out, but Wilkie was able to jump out and is able to stay alive. They move forward. Stormbolt blocked by an objective here as Cesabos looking to try and cut off the escape. Nice lava burst to buy time. Good stun by Rutsau onto two members here as Dyla has made his way back in and will top everyone back up, whereas Henning is struggling to keep up, forcing Copen to back to Fountain. Cesabos! He's down to 200 health, no armor plates, but he'll finally make it back to the sky.
Rutsu with a really nice barrier on Malthael. He barely was able to escape out of this one. 33 points against 20 now, and it seems like they've given up. They needed to retreat with Malthael, so they're looking for a kill that might give them a chance to fight for the objective after all. But again, they are only fighting a 4 versus 5 now. Here comes the strafe. A little bit of a defensive setup, just trying to ensure that nobody is following them, attempting to get the kill, as Malthael has taken to the bottom of the map to get additional experience and an additional camp on top of it too. We're going to see even earlier, level 13 for the defense here, very likely in a second.
Even without Malthael, you could see the amount of pressure that was being applied by Laubers Fanclub. They're forcing Deathwing down from the sky with only 1-2 armor plates, as he was absolutely denied that healing potential because of the amount of aggression they were showing, allowing him to come back down. Mid lane will survive. Bot lane's being cleaned up by Blaze. That is a ridiculously fast Punisher clear. See ya later. Good defense from Laubers Fanclub.
Yeah, feel the heat also just doing work in those the setups for them. And I mean, on top of that, as we've been talking about it for quite a bit, the tidal waves again for Rhaegar, now that we have the level 13 talents in the game. Talked about this already quite a lot, how the talent popped up after Bloodlust became more or less the standard on level 10 now. Tested up with 33,000 damage, Malthael on 26k. So he's doing a lot of work against that front line, but we haven't really seen any stacks towards the ult yet. Here comes another chance, though. Lauber himself is in a lot of trouble. Is not going to be able to get a flip on Deathwing, and not strong enough for that. It's actually kind of interesting. He can throw Cho'Gall, but isn't able to throw Deathwing. Something's definitely going wrong there.
That is super weird, isn't it? You can throw Muradin, he is able to get the Avatar off, try and keep him alive. Expulsion Zone comes out to try and prevent the Wilkie from escaping, but he's just holding. Healing static, lets him tank through. There's the turnaround play. Nice bellowing roar, and Copen is in trouble. Last ride takes out Deathwing, though. Copen holding the line. He's so low here as a Raidsu is suddenly outnumbered and is forced to retreat. A 1-for-0, the kill on Deathwing.
Yep, there's the kill and there's also the first stack, so a little bit of a cooldown reduction for Copenhagen. It was a bit of a clutch one though too, because everybody was so incredibly low in that choke point for the fan club that it could have been a few kills against them, but they coordinated this really well, are able to get the kill and now capitalize on that numeric advantage on the map by moving through the bottom, taking that fountain down. And this is on the lane where we have the next objective. So they're even trying to get the fort, even if that doesn't work for them. The damage that they've done already is incredibly impactful for the next objective on the map.
Which will be spawning in that bottom lane, so they have that pressure. Very cool to see here. Deathwing now, though, at level 13, has that Wicked Inferno, so he's going to hopefully be able to zone a little bit more effectively. You can see how much pressure Laubers Fanclub are applying here, because Shadow Walk is going to be the talent choice here to try and get them out of here, to try and allow Tassadar to escape. It's the old dimensional shift. It just doesn't make you invulnerable anymore.
Yeah, the healing static with the combo on 4, the inevitable end now in play. 16 talents only half a level away too, so next objective will likely be played over a talent advantage for the blue team. So for the fan club, this is a good start into this best of 3 series. There are a couple of kills ahead now too, but it's still a close one. So far, pepeMLady has still not fallen too far behind, but they are trying to now force a battle before the level 16 talent advantage is active. But this is a battle that the fan club is willing to take. There's the ult as they're going straight in with Rhaegar, trying to get a kill in, but they're not able to quite get the angle because Gore Rider came through with another wall and zoned them off.
Zesabos as well with that incredible bellowing roar hitting 3 members. There's the wall on Lauber. They're trying to steal here. Here comes the Bolt of Breath. Muradin is taken out. Muradin tries to tank it, has to bunker just to live. But the Bolt of Breath does monumental damage. Cataclysm must be burned to try and survive. Zesabos, he's so low. He's thrown in with the helping hat, with the extra throw there. And nicely done. Gore Rider strafe. He takes the wall. He gets the kill.
Takes 3, triple kill for Tai. Coming in, taking 3 of them down, turning it into a full 5-man wipe, and they are stealing the opponent's camp away. They're taking everything here. Their life, their camp, their lunch money, and their girlfriends. This is a big victory for the blue team. 8 kills to 2, an easy destruction of the top fort. Malthael, the one at the bottom of the map, to deliver another Punisher into their hands. And yeah, they can go for every single camp that is still up on the map. This is a great setup. This fight meant a lot. I mean, this was actually incredible. And it was a fight that was forced, obviously, by the Polish team. Because pepeMLady said, listen, guys, we need to fight something on even talents. And if we wait longer, then we're going to lose the objective simply because they have a talent advantage over us. So this is a really, really good position now for the fan club to be in.
And it looked okay for pepeMLady for a bit. The bellowing roar to shut down the bloodlust was really good. But the problem is everyone was running away from the fight before they really got stuck into it, meaning they also burned Nano Boost before anything really happened. And as such, pepeMLady now found themselves in that fight without 2 of their big heroics for a fight, which left Zesabos to do damage, and Muradin alone really to tank, where he just gets last righted and sniped away, losing that front line, and the back line was in danger. Ridzu goes very far forward. They're trying to dive here. Cataclysm is going to come out. They're just going to run past the Punisher, look for the kill here. Bloodlust used for to escape here, and Zesabos is absolutely bodied as the target comes down, and they're going to look for Wilkie and Gore Rider on the back line.
Deathwing turns once again into Deadwing as the first kill is confirmed in this battle. The second one could follow in a moment though, since Muradin is also getting dropped here. And that will be the end of the keep, maybe even more, as we have the fan club mercilessly pushing through the bottom of the map, going for the kill against Tassadar. Goa Rider is down. Lauber can't stop, won't stop, wants to go for the next target. There's the bunker on the other hand, gets slowed, and the Punisher wants a piece of the action too. Jumps in and takes the kill. And that is game, ladies and gentlemen. The victory on map number 1 for the fan club against pepeMLady on Infernal Shrines. Nicely done. Well played. Game number 2 in our series, so pepeMLady going up against Laubers Fanclub. Battlefield of Eternity is the map, and the first pick, first ban goes over to the Polish team. So they got a little bit spanked in the second half of the first game. They made the choice to fight before level 16 talents would kick in, but that forced them to battle around the choke point, which turned against them. And after the wipe, Laubers Fanclub just played it down cool, calm, and collected. And here we go again. The ban pattern that we experienced on the first map already, the early ban on ETC. And the only question that really remains is, will Laubers Fanclub commit even on this map to the Johanna ban against the Polish team here? This is, for example, a map where the Muradin setup would work a lot better, most likely, just simply because of the nature of the objective in comparison to Infernal Shrines.
There's also a lesser picked talent on Muradin that gets a lot of value on this map, the Sledgehammer, that we haven't actually seen in quite a while. So if we do see Muradin, I'd kind of like to see that return, because it's always a fun talent to watch when Muradin just chunks the Immortal with his Stormbolt. So we see the Garrosh getting removed here. Tank chokes from both sides.
It's one of these things that with it's fun. It's fun to see, but it's just suboptimal when you're like talking about competitive play. It's, you know, it's the same thing when we're talking about these Atanis picks, where a lot of people just like, because of things like amateur opponent, think they're like so good. But it's like, it's fun, it's enjoyable to play, and if you play it in a quick match setup or anywhere else when you're playing with friends, then it's obviously a cool thing to have. But once that the main objective really is just to win the game, there are just so many better options out there that it's not worth taking. And the same is also true for Muradin's talent, because I enjoy a good Sledgehammer when I see it, but at the same time, it's a very risky pick, and it's never really the one talent that wins you the game. You win the game despite picking it, not because of it. But obviously, when you have a heavily stacked Muradin with the baseline and you have level 1 as well, and then, you know, you see, for example, a tower nearly fall because Muradin just like threw one Stormbolt, has a rewind on 20 and gets a double in and something like that. That's super enjoyable and kind of fun to see. But I think at this point, winning is probably what they're mostly looking for.
We see the very holy front line for Laubers Fanclub coming out here. Johanna could have also fit in and still made it equally as holy, with Imperius and Urel coming in, giving them that solid offlane. Imperius, that very aggressive front line. This seems to be a very solid map for Imperius, as there's a lot of center fights and a lot of very tight choke points between the terrain. You can trap people. This, of course, leads to the very sensible pickup of Johanna, one of the few heroes who can actually survive that hard engage with Iron Skin. And Malthael comes in to, well, try and contest Urel and maybe put some pressure onto the lower health pool of Imperius.
I think the Johanna pick here also has been committed to because of the reasons that we pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
If Wilq can get one of the two, ETC or Johanna, he'll take it. So obviously you're correct that she can get out of those dicey situations with her trade with the Iron Skin, but I think both of those parts contributed to the decision quite heavily. But now we have Malthael in, we got the bans coming through, and that leaves us with a ban on Chromie, so the little sandwich is already out of commission for this one. But with that heavy frontline that we have over here, I really want to see what Ty is going to play for this one now. I could definitely... Okay, I was just about to say Grayman would be great here for them, but that one has obviously already getting banned out. Vala still up? Arrow build on Vala?
Yeah.
Always a solid.
Li Ming would also be solid. I think stealing that away from the Ana composition would be a really good call right now. Or it was banned, or we could both miss a ban in this draft. Sounds good. All right, yeah, in that case, then Valor jumps up very high in priority for the Wraith potential, but not yet. We see Tassadar coming in for Laubers Fanclub, going for some poke potential. Percentage damage at level 16. Try and bully that Johanna with those incredibly solid Qs.
I mean, in a pinch, Lulnara would always do, but Hanzo's obviously still there too, which is a hero that has dropped in priority on this map by so much, but he can still do a lot of work here. So, last picks for the Polish team. What do we get? Is there Sylvanas and Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy, of course. Exterminator. Yep. Hello. Okay, that's a bit of a brain fart moment right there.
Yeah, we both missed that. I don't know how we missed it, but Raid is a really solid pickup here.
Because usually he's picked like first. So
that's true.
That's really, really low priority for Jimmy. So normally in my head, when I don't see him picked within the first 2 picks, it's always just like, okay, he was banned. So yeah. But that's the question. Tie with Vala again. Different build then, of course, if he goes for it. Yes or no? Are we going to see some different? The Cassia pick.
How did she make it through the draft this much as well? What happened this draft? Oh, if we'd seen the drafts from earlier today and then looked at this one and someone told us, by the way, Cassia and Tassadar are going to be picked in the final rotation, as is Reyna, we would have told them that they're very silly.
But it's a different map with different ways to play. Yeah. Do you play objective? Do you play team fight? I mean, now we have the picks in action. So let's go. Battlefield of Eternity. We're heading into game number 2. The lead, ladies and gentlemen, for Laubers Fanclub. And now we are on Battlefield of Eternity. And we have on the left side the blue team. The fan club going up against the Polish team once more. pepeMLady starting towards the right side of the map with a good setup for the immortal damage. We got Malthael, we got Jimmy with the exterminator, and we have Sylvanas. All right, time to shine, and let's see if we end up with a 3rd map or if the fan club puts an end to this series with a 2-0 victory and advances to the winner bracket final.
Winner of this goes on to the winner bracket final to play off against Feel the Heat. Loser has to fight through the last dance. Neither of those options are appealing, but one of them gives you a safety net, and that's what we're going to be seeing here as Laubers Fanclub. Much faster wave clear for the moment, as pepeMLady playing a little safer, and because they have someone chilling in top lane.
Yeah, they have actually 2 sitting over there right now, which also, with a 2-3 setup, it's always a weird balance for the mercenary camps once that they spawn, which is going to be the case in 15 seconds. So bot lane should be an easy grab, but as I say, we have multiple heroes rotating towards the top side in an attempt to take Rutsu down. Not really happening though. They are able to get him out there, so Malthael still survives. And now that the camp is up, we are most likely going to see a 1-for-1 trade, top camp against bottom camp, and that's exactly what's going on.
Wave clear, mercenaries being picked up, like you say, trading 1-for-1. Neither team too close to level 4, as Ridzu gets very lucky not being hit by Celestial Charge, but not so lucky in the fact that he died.
Yeah, so that's a kill, coming in a little bit later, but still it's there. The opening kill. Now, the advantage, well, not an advantage, but like the consolation prize for the red team is that they first of all took the camp at the bottom of the map, and also they have another hero topside that will collect the experience, so they don't find themselves in this scenario where you lose your solo laner and you then have nobody else to soak the XP. You have to rotate someone off and you lose some of it, so that's at least something. But it's still a good start for the fan club. But again, team fights are going to matter the most. Even the first objective is usually not really the deciding factor here. Level 10 abilities will put a lot into perspective, unless, of course, one team is able to snowball it very, very early on.
We're going to have a quick pause.
All right, let's
jump back in very shortly.
Please give me another Li Ming train. Unfortunately, we have no Li Ming in this one, but maybe if you just get another hero, that would be fantastic. That train bug on the visuals that we had previously on Tomb was probably one of the funniest things that we've seen so far. So that would have been insane if we get that again. It apparently was a bit of a disconnect problem for Rutsu. Rumor has it that he is actually rooming with Ultralisk these days, and that's the reason why he has issues right now. But they're already back to business, so just a bit of a 3-3 moment for a tactical pause over here.
We're back in. Mercenary camp being cleaned up very quickly. You can even see the Wilkie moving up to protect this. They've seen Laubers Fanclub play, and they've definitely seen how Lauber is playing this game. Potential for a hard engage could have absolutely been there. Johanna, by the way, on level 4, Eternal Retaliation, which is interesting because they're not going to be fighting in minion waves as often. So it's a very interesting time to see there as opposed to maybe the Sins exposed.
Yeah, also top lane pressure with the help of Sylvanas. Careful, girl! Ho, ho, ho. Clutch jump on the wave. That could have backfired. But the Immortal is now spawning in a few more seconds, and one camp has been completely eliminated. Shaman camp topside destroyed. Down to the bottom of the map. The blue one is still active, but off we go. It's time to go for the Immortal, and yeah, I don't know. The fan club is winning this halftime show easy peasy with pretty much no counterplay on the other side.
Yeah, turns out when only one team shows up to the race is very easily won. As pepeMLady very late for this. Wilkie is very far forward. Here comes Celestial Charge, and Malthael is deleted. In the meantime, Copenhagen was able to stun out Dialer. Beautiful force wall by Ty, and that's going to be a double kill with Gore Rider in not the best position. It's going to make a triple kill. That was executed perfectly by Laubers Fanclub. Very little trouble for them. They're going to win the race now with a very healthy Shield Immortal.
Yeah, and it all starts with the aspect of death turning into the aspect of dying. I mean, he was quickly dropped there. And that's like 2 additional follow-up kills, 4-0 in total, nearly level 7 on the board. And look at that shield. That's insane. That's a 90% shield for the first objective with the talent advantage. That push is going to murder. And if they have, just imagine if they were the team that has Sylvanas on their end. They could even carry that towards the keep wall, but holy hell, that is such a great opening. If you want to win this series with the 2-0, this couldn't have started off any better.
Charge through the wall onto 2 members, followed up by the Strangling Vines. Here's Copen from over the side as well. They rushed through the gate to pick up Raider there, and they're going to push through. Still a third of the shield left of this Immortal as they ignore the fort completely. They are looking for the Sylvanas. Gore Rider makes his way over the wall, but this fort is about to become a naught.
Yeah, ridiculous. Go in, drop the fort, no problem at all, and yeah, they're going to destroy the wall here. I mean, this is kind of nuts. This is a level ahead, there's 5 kills against 0, and that's pretty much the most that you can get out of an early Immortal on this map. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, if they could get more kills, it would make things, of course, even worse, but that's the gate down, that's one of the towers eliminated, and that is a massive advantage to take the walls down here too, so they eliminate vision of the opponent. That's definitely a warning shot, and pepeMLady, they cannot afford to lose another objective like this, or they're going to find themselves pretty heavily dropped on this one. I mean, again, they are behind in the series as is, so they need to win this map if they want to have a chance to stay in the winner bracket. They will drop down to the loser bracket if Laubers Fanclub takes another map win.
Mercenary Queen was available for Gore Rider, but they can't use it because bot lane requires attention. Bot lane was weakened by that Immortal, so now they have to send down Sylv, their best wave clear, to deal with this. They were hunting a kill as well pre-level 10. They don't find the kill because Laubers Fanclub are playing far too safe, meaning that all they can do now is play the chase game. They're going to clear out bot lane, then they're going to head up top and defend what will likely be a tower push under forts because they don't want to get caught out pre-level 10 because they still have a full level to go.
Yeah, that's, I mean, again, with level 10 abilities at this point, they go for Valkyrie, so they have the chance to isolate a target and then get a kill on the back of it. There's nothing that the red team can do. They're just simply sitting there taking it. I mean, it's the only choice that they can make. The worst thing that they could possibly do is try and defend this now. So they have to let this slide. They have Johanna at the bottom of the map to try and give them some experience. But now, of course, we see the next camp taken away. This is exactly how you play an advantage like this. If you have a talent advantage on 10, you need to take everything on the map. And that's what they're doing right now. They take the camp, they take the fort, they take the position, and they're going to win the halftime show on the back of it too. And yeah, Fanclub, again, they know how to capitalize on an advantage like that.
Nothing's going to stop them. They are in a very solid position right now. But finally, here's level 10. Here is their chance. But look at Lauber. They finally spotted with the Banshee. Such a charge doesn't land. Gore Rider. He uses escape though. Not available, but now they have to defend on the halftime show. But the lanes are pushed. They are equaled out. They're on even talents. This is their chance. pepeMLady. They choose to make their way forward. They're going for the defensive play because this is their opportunity to try and put this in their favor.
There's a lot of pressure on them now too, of course, and they don't have a fountain to fall back on as well if there is a problem. They're going deep for this now, and they might get the kill, and indeed they do. Rutz is down, there's the counter kill against Malthel on the other hand, and they're still fighting over the camp here as we have Urel coming in with a quick drop against Johanna. Nicely done, Malfury with the last hit, and Sylvanas is also falling as Imperius confirms another kill. Sesapos just barely getting away. And now the objective is wide open, but they want another kill against the Granny. Dyla on the run. Well, you can run, but you can't hide, baby. Goodbye, sleep.
Gonna hide behind the enemy's eyelids, so she's gonna try and dodge out the way there. Such a charge doesn't land, but the mace and the spear will, as they will pick up the kill and the immortal.
Yeah, and that's 100% shield. I mean, that's literally 100% shield here. Not a single damage point was done to the Immortal. The only thing that might save the red team, as they stagger another death and make things even worse, which leads to a level 13 talent. But the only thing that works a little bit, I don't dare to say in their favor, is it's 8 minutes into the game, which means that they might not be able to end just simply because the Immortal is not scaled enough yet, but that keep is gonna fall.
We're only 9 now minutes in. Are you serious? I thought this was like a 14-minute game and they were approaching the end. It's ridiculous. Laubers Fanclub crushed their way through the front wall. Shield is barely touched on that Immortal as the Wilq, he's going to try and run past. Wailing Arrow just dropped their two-man silence. They try to pick up Lauber, but he's able to back up. And now with the force wall, that is huge danger. Oh, beautiful Ardent Defender to block the last rights. And while they will finally be able to turn onto that Immortal with the freedom of not being pressured as much, that is still going to be no kills coming in for pepeMLady, and the Immortal is going to be able to finish off this keep.
Yeah, they're going to get the keep, but as I said, with this being not even 10 minutes into the second map, you can't go for core here unless you get multiple hero kills, and that's something that they weren't able to do. So it was a good defense given the circumstances, given how far behind they were, but it doesn't change the fact that they lost both their forts and a keep. So now top lane pressure is going to be enormous. We're going to see catapult after catapult pushing through the top lane. But again, it's early in the game, so these catapults are not really doing a lot of damage yet. Once we're talking about like 18, 20 minutes, it's a different story. But it will, of course, still give a lot of map control into the hands of the blue team simply by default, because the top lane is going to be pushed out so much, so you're going to lose a lot of vision, and that plays a big role here.
Almost a 2-level lead for Laubers Fanclub. 13, finally, just around the corner. Malthael's going to be able to pick that up for pepeMLady. They have most of their heroics back off cooldown. Wailing Arrow just about to pop, and with Undefended down, pepeMLady with even talents again, they're finally at a point where they can try and take a fight, and that's what they're going to do. Wrapping around outside their own base, they're looking to try and pick someone up here. Wilq eats half his health worth of damage. Bless Shield comes down. They just cure from Henning, and they look for the turnaround. That is rough. Nano boost onto Gore Rider, though. Wailing Arrow, it's 4 members. This could be their chance as Urel is taken out.
That's one kill. That's the second. Imperius is down. Malthel pays with his life fight, but the fight isn't over just yet. Tassadar is still looking for a counter kill, and they get it against Wilq. Johanna dead, and now the follow-up. The fountain about to be destroyed. That's already a big play since it only leaves the one in the middle. Actually, I'm lying. Top keep might have fallen, but top fountain is still there. The consolation prize. This keep at the bottom, though, is taking damage just as we are headed towards level 16 talents for the blue team. And the Immortal is up on the map, of course, and that gives them the early advantage there, too.
The full mirror there. Bottom keep still alive with no fountain, and top keep dead with only the fountain alive. As they finally get to clean out their Fallen Shaman, get a little bit of counter value, give themselves some sustain. That was one of their better fights. They were able to pick up some kills there with the 4-man Wailing Arrow. That's the second 4-man that Gore Rider has actually landed, and combining that with the nano boost, they were able to get some solid damage output, but the second it expires, Cassie's still alive and just eats people.
Yeah, damage output. It's kind of funny to actually look at the damage because you have 36,000 for Sylvanas. She's easily topping the damage for the entire game. Cassia has only 23,000. We have 20,000 for Tassadar, 21,000 for Imperius. But then you look at the kill count and you see that just artificially padded damage numbers don't mean anything if you can't follow up on it. So it's 12 kills to 3. So yep, there's another one as Will Q just explodes. Johanna doesn't stand a chance there. Urel just demolishing all coordination that they're trying to set up here. The nano boost on Malthael, but he's not going to be able to do anything here. Well, maybe he gets one kill. That's a good one. Dyla survives because of it. Oh, and then the Space Goat jumps in and takes the easy double kill.
They're just going to go for keep and probably core here. That's 4 dead. Johanna's back in 10. The keep is minimum. If they could get Dyla here, Sleep Dart is sidestepped, and that's going to be the end of Ana. Gonna get not jumped on, does dodge, force Wall to push her body off the side of the cliff as they're going to take down the keep and go for core.
Death hammers are low, so only another 10 seconds until everybody is back to business if they can't get the staggered death against Jojo. It doesn't seem like it. Yep, there's the Master Town coming out, but of course the core is falling and it's falling quickly. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a 2-0 victory, very likely, for the fan club as they also take another kill. They take Johanna down. Core on 60%. Defense is, of course, there. Oh, the Valkyrie! And there's the kill against Reyna. They want Malthael. They don't get him this time, but they do get the core. A 2-0 win for the fan club against pepeMLady.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.